Welcome back. It's been exactly 10 years since 18-year-old Michael Brown was killed by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, unleashing a wave of outrage over policing in that local community. Weeks of protests followed. The debate about criminal justice has come a long way in the decades since Brown's death, and now it's back in focus on the campaign trail, with the Trump campaign arguing their opponents are too extreme on public safety.
She wants open borders. She wants to defund the police. She wants to defund the police. She wants to take away your guns.
Here with us now, retired Los Angeles Police Department Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey and the author of Black and Blue. Sergeant, welcome to the show. Today marks 10 years since Michael Brown was killed tragically in Ferguson, prompting conversations about police reform. I want to read a quote from Axios. It says, "Major federal policing reform has stalled in Congress amid partisan bickering and conservative backlash against discussion on systemic racism has taken the focus off police violence." End quote. Sergeant, I want to hear from you. How do you view the last 10 years?
Nothing's changed. We're going to start ticking off 10-year anniversaries for a lot of folks who lost their lives at the hands of errant police officers in 2014, starting with Eric Garner and then Mike Brown, and here in Los Angeles, Ezell Ford, Tamir Rice, John Crawford, and the list goes on. And so nothing has changed. And while I don't say no to any reform activities, what I will say is that folks need to understand, since we're nearing an election in less than 90 days, what to ask for. Federal policies will do nothing to stop local police officers from killing people who look like me. Listen, when was the last time you saw Secret Service, DOJ, DEA, FBI, you pick an alphabet agency serving a no-knock warrant? So prohibiting no-knock warrants is not going to stop errant officers from killing folks. It's local politics that matter the most, and we need to ask those kinds of questions for people who seek elective office right now.
To your point, the list goes on and on. I do want to talk to you on the national level, on the federal level, because back when she was in the Senate, Vice President Harris praised the defund the police movement. She did it in a radio interview back in 2020. I just want our viewers to hear it, Sergeant, and I'll talk to you right after.
Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. This whole movement is about rightly saying, we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priorities.
Now, this is our Democratic presidential nominee. Do you take issue with her comments? Again, it was a few years ago, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm opposed to defunding the police. Defund the police, get rid of police officers, and replace them with what? Is the question. And listen, LAPD tried that whole defund the police mumbo jumbo. And you know who gets affected by that? Our poor communities, because in affluent areas, they're not worried about police. They got private security that they'll call whenever they have an issue. I recently talked to an LAPD supervising detective who told me right now he has one investigator investigating crimes of theft and property type crimes here in a very affluent area of Los Angeles. And so defunding the police will only create more problems. I'm totally against it. And I don't know what her position is today, but folks need to be asking the right kinds of questions with regards to defund and replace with what?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Get rid of qualified immunity. Maybe that's a good place to start.
Yeah, unfortunately, our VP has not said much about her policies, but we will keep on that. Let's talk about Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. He's now calling on Sheriff Jack Campbell to resign after one of his deputies killed 38-year-old Sonya Massey right in her home. Experts tell the Huffington Post that Massey's death could have been prevented with a better police culture. I want to know your thoughts, not only on this death, but do you agree with that sentiment that this could have been handled so much better? Saved her life.
Outrageous.
Outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous. We know that these police departments are dropping the ball when it comes to background checks. I mean, this guy on that agency reminds me of the officer that shot and killed Tamir Rice, Timothy Loman. He had been on a couple of different police departments. And so, listen, these agencies know who the bad actors are. And if police chiefs and sheriffs and commissioners don't want to hold their feet to the fire and get rid of these people, then we're going to continue to have these kinds of outrageous and egregious uses of force, deadly force. This officer should have never been hired by that agency, and that sheriff should step down.
Retired Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, thank you so much for coming on, Sergeant. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.